Hello everyone, hope you are doing well. So here we have one of the parajumble based question. You could see that generally jumble based questions come with four sentences, and here also you would find out four sentences are given. So jumble based questions are the kind of the question uh, which are known as a parajumbled question, and where the order of the sentences are kept jumbled or in a disorder manner. So what we supposed to do, we need to put those of the sentence into proper order so that we would get the coherent idea or coherent paragraph, and as well as the main idea of the text, and also logical flow of the text, isn't it? So generally parajumbled question come with the typo based question. It's typo based questions. We find out that there are two different types of jumbled question. One is a choice based and typo based question. But we find out in last couple of years or last many years, it turns into typo based questions. But there is an advantage is what it doesn't carry any negative marking, right? Any negative marking. So in that case, uh, or you can say no negative marking is given. So whether it's a parajumbled question or odd man out question types, right? So another thing is called as whenever we go for the jumble based question, so parajumbled question, we need to follow lots of tricks to means um, solve the kind of question types and crack the answers. Beside that also, you must have a very good understanding the theme of the text, right? Because only trick may not help you to crack the answer. You also need to understand the text, isn't it? So well, let's move to the question. What does it ask? So here the direction for question is what? There are four sentences which are labeled 1, 2, 3, and 4 below. When properly sequenced would produce a coherent paragraph, and we need to decide on the proper sequencing of the order of the sentences, and key in the sequence of the four numbers as our answer. Let's look at each of the statement. What does it point out? And let's connect means with another one. So with a different method we follow, that's called as a pair relationship approach, or you can talk about mm, linking of the language. Well, let's read the first statement. It is stated revivification of the dead was a major feat that required concentrated uh, syncopation um, with cosmic powers, and such collaboration was realized and made safe through carefully executed rituals. Now, if you look into that, it suggests that bringing the dead back to life was a important accomplishment or significant accomplishment that involved intense uh, syncopation, or called as a synchronization with the cosmic forces. It implies that this collaboration was successful and secure when conducted through well-planned and precise rituals. The use of the term you could say here, which is called as a syncopation, right, which is nothing but suggesting you can say that a rhythmic coordination, rhythmic coordination of coordination, or you can say that harmony, harmony in the harmony in the process, isn't it? Now, if you look into the second option or second statement, what does it say? Necromancy in the ancient world pertained to the practice of calling the dead back to life for the purpose of learning the future. Now, this defines necromancy in the ancient world, right, as the act of bringing the dead back to life with the specific intention of gaining knowledge about the future. Necromancy, in this context, you can talk about it seen as a means of what? That is called as divination, or divination, also you can say divination, or you can say fortune telling, fortune telling, uh, fortune telling through communication with the deceased, deceased, right? Those who are dead. Now, option 3 stated, what is that? Or statement 3 point out pagan works portray contact with the dead as ghoulish and repugnant, but if approached gingerly and undertaken for desirable ends, it was justified. Now, this carries with lots of difficult or critical language. You can say ghoulish and repugnant, and also we find out gingerly, and we also find out that called as a pagan. So this suggests that in pagan literature or beliefs, interacting with the dead is often depicted as what? Eerie, or you can say that means distasteful, right? So eerie and distasteful. So repugnant is called as a distasteful, uh, distasteful, and ghoulish is also known as a eerie, right? However, it proposes that if such contact is approached in a gingerly manner, gingerly means that called as a delicate manner, delicately, and is conducted for positive, right? It's conducted for positive or beneficial purposes, it could be considered morally acceptable, right? Um, or justified. That is what it is pointed. Undertaken for desirable end, it was justified. Now, of statement 4 point out what? Despite the radical differences in pagan Christian notions of mortality, there were also similarities, and these frustrated the new religion in its effort to establish itself as unique. It acknowledges that there are substantial what differences between what now pagan and you can say that Christian notions, pagan and Christian notions or Christian perspectives on what? On uh, mortality. However, it also states that there are similarities between the two, and these similarities, you can say that what? Created challenges for the new religion, right? New Christian religion in attempts to what? Distinguish itself as something distinct and unique. Each of the statement seems to touch upon themes, right? Themes what? Themes related to the what? That called as you can say that is okay, okay, related to the themes related to what? Themes related to the death, right? And you can say that okay, okay, theme related to what? Death, and also you can say the afterlife, and the interaction, and the interaction, interaction, interaction between the living and the deceased, between the living and the deceased. Deceased. Isn't it often within the context of religious or mystical practices? So this is what that you would find out in this whole text, means uh, points out or depicts. Now, let's try to connect uh, means each of the statement with the other. Now, if you look into that after means getting through the kind of idea from this particular one, means we find out that um, that if you look into the sentence 4, so what sentence 4 point out? Sentence 4, which is indicating despite the radical mm, differences in pagan and Christian notion of mortality, right? There were also similarities, and these frustrated the new religion in its efforts to establish itself as unique. Now, this sentence 4 indicates the idea that there were both differences, right? What are the both differences? Pagan and Christian notion, and similarities between pagan and Christian views on mortality. So in that case, we can say this could be the introduction, or introduces the idea that there were both differences and similarities between pagan and Christian views on mortality. So after 4, if you see option 2, which is stated about what? Necromancy. So creating the idea context by explaining that necromancy in the ancient world, right? Ancient world was about calling the dead back to life for divinity, isn't it? Sentence 3, which builds on the idea of necromancy and how it was portrayed in pagan work, because it is stated pagan works portray contact with the dead as ghoulish and repugnant. But if approached delicately, undertaken for desirable ends, it was justified. So you start with the idea called as a pagan and Christian notions of mortality, and then you talk about necromancy and then pagan works, isn't it? So um, and if you look into the statement 3, which is indicated about pagan works portrait contact with the dead, builds on the idea of necromancy and how it was portrayed in pagan works, emphasizing the negative view, but also suggesting that it could be justified for a specific purpose. So, beside that, we also find out sentence 1. So, we find out 4, 2, 3. So, 4 is the introductory one, 2 is indicating 2 and 3 both are indicating both pagan and Christian notion of mortality. Then 1 is indicating what? The providing nothing but a revivification of the dead. Now, we are talking about revivification of the dead means what? Now, when you are saying that it was justification, right? So, which one? Now, that called as a pagan works. So that portray contact with the dead. It was justification and revivification of the dead, right? The dead which we discuss in the option 3, right or not? So makes us the or gives us the further detail about what? Detail about the process of revivifying the dead and how it was accomplished through rituals, right? Linking back to the overall theme of the paragraph. Hence, we can say, means option 4, introducing, 2 and 3 are talking about pagan and Christian notion and how it becomes unique. And 3, where it is stated that the pagan works portray contact with the dead, it was justification, and revivification of the dead was a major feat. So in that case, 4, 2, 3, and 1. So that is the sequence that you can find out here. So 4, 2, 3, 1, through which we can draw the appropriate idea. So I hope you understood this. That's all. Thank you.